Hey, 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 it's Dr. Dawn, and it's time for Mystical Monday. For all of you who are joining me for the first time, my name is Dr. Dawn, and I am an intuitive guide and spiritual messenger. And so, what that means is I am the go between the spiritual realm and the physical realm. I'm the one in the middle, relaying messages from spirit and the divine beings of light to the collective. In this forum on Monday nights, I act as a conduit between spirit and the collective, which is all of you. In my one-on-one sessions, I act as the go-between my clients and their spiritual team. I'm the one in the middle introducing them to their spiritual team, as well as providing spiritual guidance and intuitive support from their team as it relates to where they are in their journey. Okay. So tonight is Mystical Monday Live. And so we got to kind of talk a little bit about where we are in tonight's Mystical Monday. Okay. So I felt like there was a need for a reality check-in, so to speak. And let me tell you what I mean by a reality check-in. So we as star beings here on the planet, for those of us who are aware that we are or originate from the stars, we are in a place of sometimes needing encouragement and kind of like remembrance of why we're here. Um, for those of you who know me and who've been following me, you know I don't subscribe to any one religion because I believe there's truth in all religions, okay? And I also believe that religion is a powerful and beneficial aspect of our journey here because it gets us to the awareness and realization that there's something bigger than us happening on this planet. And it is a stepping stone to getting us to realize and be in an awareness of who we are, the truth of who we are. And so for tonight, I'm going to use some terms that some people may associate with the New Age religion, but I don't subscribe to New Age either because I don't do any kind of doctrine, any kind of specific belief system. But there's a lot of truth in the New Age movement as it relates to where we are now as a planet in our ascension on the planet. So the terms that I use, I'm going to kind of define them and use them loosely tonight as a point of reference, okay? So I want to start with the term light worker, because when people who are not of the New Age experience hear the term light worker, they associate it with something dark or demonic or something not of the light or Christ consciousness, so we can say. And so when we use the term light worker, we usually refer to awakened beings who bear an interest like in all living beings as it relates to like earth and things like that. But there's an enormous pull towards like helping and assisting and serving humanity. These beings are believed to be from higher dimensional realms, and have come here specifically during this time to help awaken the planet and assist in this planet's upgrade to a higher frequency planet. I myself would fall into the category of a light worker, okay? Because I fall under the category of a star seed, okay? What is a star seed? A star seed is a type of light worker, okay? A being that falls into different types of, I don't want to say, keep saying categories, but different types of sequences that are specific to the evolution of the planet. You can be a crystal star seed, an indigo star seed, a rainbow star seed. You can be an earth angel, okay, which is another type of star being. But you are collectively, these beings are collectively here to assist the planet in a realization that there is a huge connection between our star system as well as our system here on the planet Earth as it relates to us, the humans here, being and originating from the star system and incarnating here on this earthly realm for an earthly human experience, okay? So with all that said and done about light workers and everything, for those of you who are watching this and you resonate or identify with that term light worker and you feel as if you are operating in that category of light worker right now where you are in your awakening, let me explain something to you. We often, as light workers, perceive ourselves as being under attack a lot, not actually physically under attack, but energetically under attack, because we are coming with a vibration, a frequency, and an awareness that doesn't often match the awareness and frequency that is operating here on the planet Earth. So because of that, when certain things happen, we start to feel as if we're under attack. Sometimes planetarily, most of us or all of the light workers will feel under attack at one time because of the energy on the planet and how it is affecting everyone cooperatively as a group, specifically the beings that are operating at a different place of awareness, like light workers. Sometimes we have to realize that we are all experiencing this feeling of quote unquote being under attack because there are skills or there are I don't want to say topics, but there are specific programmed lessons that are trying to be taught to the earth collectively that require for all of us to be kind of on the same page, okay? So for example, if you as a light worker feel as if you're under attack because everybody seems to be draining your energy, meaning specifically people who have what you consider heavy issues happening in their life, such as, feeling as if they're depressed or they're having thoughts of just not wanting to live, like real heavy energy. And you feel as if all these people who are in this category are coming to you at one time. And it makes you feel as if you're under attack. You're not actually under attack. You're actually coming or being put into an awareness of collectively where the planet is in that moment. And so you may feel like you're under attack because you feel like you're the only one going through this because you are aware that you're here to try to radiate the planet, and you feel as if all of these dark energies are coming at you and towards you to prevent you from doing that. And guess what? Usually light workers are all under attack or feeling as if they're under attack at the same time, okay? So like I've often talked to different spiritual teachers and beings of light who are working to help the planet ascend, and we'll sometimes marvel at how we're having the same experiences. Like, I'll say, I tried for hours to upload my YouTube video. I couldn't get my YouTube video up. And then they may say, well, you know what? It's the strangest thing. I was trying to do my information on social media and I kept getting blocked, or, things kept happening to where I couldn't complete mine. And, we'll start to notice similarities in that we're all having difficulties with social media as it relates to getting our information and message out at that moment. It's not a coincidence, okay? So you could view, if you're in isolation and having the experience one-on-one without collaborating with others, you would think you're the only one experiencing, when collectively it's happening all across the board, okay, to beings of light. All right. So I'm doing this reality check-in because some of us as light workers are experiencing some of this stuff and we're getting beaten down. We're getting kind of frustrated. We're getting aggravated because we're thinking we're being blocked, and we're thinking that there are forces out to get us and stop us. That's not actually it. It is an energy. It is an energy that is trying to create an awareness of collectively where the planet is in that moment and what is happening. And we are feeling the results of it because we're aware of it. We are aware of it and we are experiencing it in that moment. All right. So as light workers or beings of light, just always understand that when you're experiencing what you're experiencing on your end, no matter what it may be, I just used the example of social media, but it could be like you are having what's considered a drought as it relates to financial things, or a separation of beings that are in your circle. Like everything may be happening, that you feel like it's causing your world to crumble, but that may not be it. It may be collectively that we're all experiencing this, okay? Because of the energy and the shift, all right? Okay, so when we think about or talk about light workers or beings that are here to help assist the planet, we have to understand that this is going to be an ongoing process for many years to come, and that beings had to come in shifts. All right. There were beings that they say that there were an original 144,000 awakened light beings that came to get the ball rolling, to start the awareness of this upgrade on the planet. And they had little to no help. And when I say little to no help, we've got a lot of resources at our fingertips now during this ascension process. I mean, hey, we got social media. Just think about the people who were ascending very, 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 very early on, did not have this networking ability or capabilities to not just put out information, but to be able to look up information to questions that they may need answers to, or resources that they needed. They didn't have any of this. And so it was very different for them to try to assist the planet during their time, but they had to come to start the ball rolling, okay? And so look, then as we evolved and we started coming in tiers, with each tier, there was an advancement, not just in technology, but in awareness, okay? The things we're talking about now, like I'm sitting here talking about light workers in 2023. Well, they were around like in the 80s, but nobody was talking about it because you couldn't talk about it freely, because you would be not just criticized, ostracized, you would literally be challenged in your belief to the point to where you would doubt your belief and succumb to the collective, the masses of the majority. And so it's very difficult to make headway or to move forward in the planet's upliftment, because it was difficult to get the message out to the people, because the workers themselves, the beings themselves, were struggling with how to stay in their place of alignment and awareness. And so now that we have these tiers coming, okay, the universe is very much so set up into groups, okay? And this is a result of these groups coming at certain times to provide certain messages, so to speak. The overall message is to lose fear. We have been coming lifetime after lifetime after lifetime to try to create an awareness that fear is not real. It is false evidence appearing real. It has always been fake. It has always not been this reality. But our conditioning and our awareness of our physical being our physical body and being in the third dimension, which is based off our senses, led us to believe that fear was not only real, but it was the guiding force behind how we structured and lived our lives. Fear determined what jobs we went after. Fear determined who we married or ended up with. Fear determined how many children we had. Fear determined what our religious belief systems were. Fear just was at the forefront and the foundation for every aspect of our life. Do you see that? Do you see how it was perfectly placed and positioned to keep us in a place of not knowing and a place of constantly trying to hold on and grab, and a place of not evolving to our full potential out of fear that we would experience something that is different from what we've known, which is fear in and of itself, right? To have a new experience that you're not familiar with. You usually can't do that because you are immersed in fear. All right, so as we are going through these tiers, okay, we are realizing not only are we starting to recognize that fear isn't real, we are starting to change the things that we associate with fear. We are starting to realize that we are connected to a force field that not only will guide us through the fearful moments, but will show us and reveal what the fear is made up of, where it comes from and originates, how it started, and how we can nip it so that it no longer continues to have momentum in our journey and develop bigger obstacles in our path. I had a client, you guys, and in the session, she kept saying, I just want to ascend. I just want to move forward. I just want to get to the next level. And I kept saying, well, why do you keep thinking ascension is an end point? Why do you think it's a place to like end up at? Because I told her, you're already ascending. You're here on the earth during this time. You are in an awareness that the planet is moving in terms of its frequency and its awareness. You're participating in that awareness. You are part of the ascension. And she says, but I don't have all my chakras clear, and I don't feel like, my intuition is where it needs to be, and I can't connect with divine beings of light like when I want to. I can't hear them all the time. So I'm not ascending, or I'm not ascending fast enough. Stop that, everybody, collectively. Stop putting a set of requirements on what ascension is. Ascension is different for everyone. The ascension that she is experiencing is the awareness of the presence, the meaning, and the whole purpose of our being here. If you've gotten that part, you're literally ascending. You are. And so we have to collectively, because again, where was she coming from with all of that? Fear. Fear makes you feel like if you're not at a certain point, you're behind. If you're behind, you're not going to get to this or this or this. What is that based from? It's always based from fear. Fear is the guiding force that has ran our entire lives, including the way we think and interpret what's happening in our life. I challenge you on the day-to-day basis, whenever you think of an idea or you're involved in something or you're having an emotional response to something, ask yourself first, is this response or experience coming from a place of fear? I guarantee you 99% of the time, you will always answer yes, because fear has been what we have created our experience on this planet. When you take fear out of it, do you realize how your entire experience and journey changes here? Entirely. Your outlook, and you have to remember, we keep basing our experience on physical things, physical movement, physical elevation up, be it monetarily or notoriety. We base it on physical things. That is not what is pushing you into a higher energetic framework. It's not. It's how well you can be aware of when you are being limited in terms of what you want to do based off of your beliefs and wholeheartedly based off of your perception and your association of fear with whatever it is you're trying to do. Do you realize there's going to come a time where you will only be able to receive assistance on this planet from light workers? Let me get into that. So everybody's having experiences now, experiences as it relates to ascension, both those who are aware and those who are not. You're going to get to a point where your experiences are not going to match what's happening collectively, meaning everything that you've learned and known to be true is no longer going to be in effect or no longer going to be a point of reference for you. You're going to have to rely on a different type of knowing. You're going to have to lean heavily on the experiences of other people who have experienced what you're going through, because it's not going to be, a certain doctrine or a certain anything that you can reference or, you can look up and it's going to be based off of experience, because we are experiencing things that are not documented, things that there are no point of reference for, things that you cannot depend on a pre-knowing or a pre-belief or a historical perspective, because we don't have it, because it hasn't been done or happened. And so happened yet or before. So you're going to have to, there's going to be a move and a push towards moving towards those beings that have had the experiences like you. Okay, let's go to another session of mine. I love using my sessions as a point of reference. I was in a session and I was relaying messages from one of my clients' spirit guides, spirit team. I was introducing this person to one of the beings on his team. One of the beings on his team was from the Orion's belt, okay? So it's being that dwelled in the Orion's belt somewhere in that area. And he was giving off all of the characteristics of my client. Like, I don't know this client. This is my first time talking to him. This being was saying all of the characteristics of this client. He was like, yeah, I'm very familiar with him. I've been his spirit guide since he incarnated there. He says, I am familiar with his characteristics of he went through the whole list of the characteristics. And so the client was like, oh my God, all of those things describe me to a T. And he says, I've always felt like I originated from somewhere in the planet, not sure where. And I always felt like there was a being with me that was kind of like my buddy in this journey here. And so the being that was talking said, absolutely, because I told you before you came there, I would never leave you and be by your side. So this client said, you know what? I have never really felt comfortable talking about this with anyone, because I didn't think anyone would understand, because this sounds very crazy. Now, listen, what did I just tell you? It's going to come a point where what you're experiencing, you ain't going to be able to say, oh, let me run down the street and go to the intergalactic clinic for assistance with associating with a being from your home planet, or a being that you feel like you're communicating with and in touch with in the star system. Like you can't do that. Not now, maybe down the road, but that's not where we are. And so experiences or being drawn to energetically beings that are of like mind or who has similar experiences is going to be the go-to. It just is. Even in the past, you guys, when we say, oh, that's the same as religions, Muslims are drawn towards Muslims, Christians are drawn towards Christians. You get it. Different faiths are joined to different faiths. That's what you'll say. You'll say that that's what we've been doing. These drawing towards or energetic pulls that you're going to have towards beings are going to be based off specific personal experiences that you're having that are specific to you, not what is in a book that says, according to this chapter, this whatever, this happened in this time, and it's similar to what's happening now. And no. Specifically off of your individual experiences. Now, this is different from what our conditioning is, because we've been conditioned to relate our current situations to situations that have happened previously. as a result of teachings, research, studies, so forth and so on. Okay. We're not going to have that. If I tell you I go outside, I went outside right now and I tripped over the curb and rolled over on my head and stood up and there was an angel standing there. Or no, that's not a good example. If I told you I went outside and I tripped and I fell on the ground, and immediately in that moment, I heard a voice tell me, this was to get your attention, that you need to slow down and focus and watch every step that you take in life, because you are moving in a direction of accomplishing your life's desires. If I tell you I had that experience, what's the point of reference? Like, huh? What do you mean? You tripped and then a voice guided you and told you this is why you tripped and it was to do this, and they said they were a guide and blah blah what? Like, yes, you're going to have specific phenomena and experiences happen to you. That one was kind of out there, but I'm just trying to give you guys something to go by. You're going to have experiences that are only specific to you, and that nobody can, it's not going to be right or wrong, because it's going to be your experiences. That's what's happening as we shift. We're starting to have spiritual experiences, meaning experiences that are not happening as a result of or in this human reality. It's a spiritual connection, meaning, and interpretation involved. And so we're going to be moving into an awareness of our spiritual and energetic connection and what that all means and how to interpret it and be more mindful of these connections and messages that are coming to us, because they're going to be specific to us. So what is the push right now? You all know the push. You're watching me right now on this video. The push is to not learn how to connect spiritually, but to start being aware of your inner connection to the spiritual realm, and how you have been and will continue to be communicating with your spirit body from your human body. You're learning that now. A lot of us are in the process of learning because our intuition is getting heightened, right? We're starting to hear the divine guidance, hear and feel the divine guidance, and we're starting to follow it. We're starting to get into a flow, if you will. All right. Some of us are starting to experience phenomena. We're starting to see things that aren't in the physical presence. We're starting to hear things that aren't in our physical presence. We're starting to smell things that are not in our physical presence. We're opening up, right, to our spiritual awareness of the multidimensionality of this current and present environment. We're starting to not only realize that there are other dimensions that are right here with us, existing simultaneously, and we're tapping into them, in and out of them, but we're also noticing that we have an ability to connect, communicate, and use this dimensional platform during our physical human experience. And we're learning that now. We're learning all of that, so that when the time comes where we no longer have points of reference, we solely have to go off of our experiences and our ability to interpret the experiences. So we're getting ready. So we're ready for that moment, because that moment, for me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's here already. I'm already interpreting everything from my spiritual perspective. That same client I told you guys about that kept saying, I don't feel like I'm ascending. I feel like I'm behind. I feel like I'm not moving forward. I feel like I'm this, I'm that. I told her, I said, for every time you speak in 3D, in the third dimension, I'm going to say what you're saying in the fifth dimension. Okay. So she would say something and then I would restate it again in the fifth dimension. And she was like, okay, I see now. I see. It was like literally night and day, night and day. She would say, I don't feel like I'm ascending. I feel like I'm stuck. I feel like I'm not moving forward. I feel like I'm behind. I feel like I'm not catching up. I feel like. And I said in the fifth dimension, I feel ungrounded. I feel like I'm not like secure. I'm not grounded on the earth. I feel like I am losing my, or I'm not connected to my alignment and to the source. So because of not being aligned and feeling connected and I'm not grounded, I'm feeling as if I'm disconnected. So because I'm disconnected, I'm feeling like I'm behind, I'm overwhelmed. Or so she was like, oh, grounded. Yeah, right. I'm not grounded. I'm not feeling connected. I'm not staying in tune to the source. See, you can always, when you experience or say something that is not in alignment with who you are, and you'll know when it's not in alignment with who you are because it's not uplifting, it's not encouraging, it's not pushing you forward, it's not teaching you about you. Anything that's not doing any of that is not aligning with who you are and moving and having you in that fifth dimensional state of being. Okay. So now we're in the point of awareness of becoming aware of when we're staying in the third and when we're moving in the fifth. And a lot of times, every time we are in the third, it is because it is a fear moment. That example I just gave you guys about her not feeling like she's moving forward or she's behind or she's not ascending, that was fear. Did you hear? You could hear the fear just in me saying that. Anytime you're coming from fear, you're always in the third. You're always in the third dimension, always in the third, always in the third, always in the third. I don't care what you're doing, where you are, who you with, you're operating in the third dimension. Okay? That's a good point of reference for you to know when to shift the perspective, shift the words, shift the energy. Okay. The more you are in awareness of when you're operating in the third and you're shifting, you'll find that you don't have to shift as much. You'll stay in that place of being and that dimensional framework that you want to be in because the awareness is there and you don't need to shift. But until then, you have to keep shifting, and you shift by bringing yourself to a point of awareness to where you recognize, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm coming from a place of fear. Let me stop this. Let me restate this. Let me move this energy in a different direction. Okay? Reality check-in tonight on Mystical Monday, because we all need the reality check-in. I don't care if you're here being a light worker or a light being or whatever you want to call it, starseed. We all need reality check-ins because it is very easy for you to disconnect from the source, aka God, and to lose your grounding. Okay, and to lose your footing here and to get whisked away into a dimensional level of being that you know you're moving away from. Okay, I want you guys to understand that when you stop calling things coincidences and realize the power, how powerful you are, you're going to make the magic happen. You're going to make the magic happen. I have seen people who are spiritual teachers. They're tarot card readers. They are Reiki healers. They're energy healers. They are doing all kinds of work as meditation. They do anything related to energy upliftment and ascension of the planet. They're doing all kinds of work, and they still use the word coincidence, or they still chalk up things or explain things happening to, I don't know, something just, caused me to this, or it was ironic that, but we keep putting our power into this questionable state of being instead of realizing when we are creating these things that are happening. Start getting into the awareness and power of your creation. You are creating this entire experience. You're creating it based off of what is happening and what you're projecting and what you're experiencing and what you're feeling. It's never a coincidence. It's never, oh, this is ironic. It is never, it just so happened that. It's never any of that. It is alignment. It is guidance. It is momentum shifts and movement in the direction you're trying to go to. That is always happening. Always. You're watching this video aligned with what you are projecting outwardly that you are trying to receive inwardly. You met or you are with the person that you want to spend your life with, not a happenstance. You didn't just happen to meet online. You didn't just happen to go out on a blind date and connect. No, you did that. You set that up. You created that experience based off of your intention, your energy, and your momentum towards the creation. Understand that with everything in your life and being, you are always creating. So when I get into a space where, good, let me go back to clients again. I get clients who I go, there's a fine line between ascension and awareness and mental health issues. Okay, that's another video. We'll have to talk about that. But you have to have a discernment and an awareness of the difference between the two, because there is a difference. And so sometimes I attract clients that are more mental health challenge things, issues, more so than an awareness of a spiritual clearing or awakening that is happening in them at that time. Okay. So when I attract a large group of the beings in this similar category, I go, no, wait a minute. I receive what I am giving out. And so if I'm getting a lot of people who are in between this awakenings, but borderline mental health, where is this coming from? Okay, where is this coming from? And so I often do a reality check-in, which is what we're doing tonight. What I'm telling you guys to do, we got to check in reality-wise into my reality, because I got to see what it is I'm doing. Well, this just happened recently, and I had to realize the energy that I was carrying, because I was dealing with a couple of close, not just family members, but friends who were dealing with mental health issues. Okay. And so even though I myself wasn't having a mental health moment, I had the energy of, I picked it up. I'm an empath. I took it in and I didn't quite separate it from myself and them, and continue to carry it and manipulate and use it and have it in my day-to-day. And so I was attracting and pulling in clients of a similar nature. Okay. So I had to ground myself. I had to get to a place. I had to get outside into nature. That's how I ground. That's how most of us ground, because that's the best way to ground, because that's the universe's classroom is outside. Get out in nature. And I had to get out there, and I had to like walk barefoot. I had to get out in that grass. I had to breathe in some air, sit under a tree, feel the air, connect with my feelings in that moment. How am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling like this? Getting into some gratitude moments. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. I had to ground and pull myself back to my center and get back aligned with the source. Okay. And so I can tell when I'm off, because I can see what I'm attracting into my life, and I can see how it's making me feel. That's the way you stay aware, in line, and keeping yourself in that reality check-in, and making sure that you are not categorizing things that's happening into your life as coincidences, being good or bad. We usually will say coincidence or luck when it's something good, right? And so then when it's something bad, we will attribute it to, some external thing or external reason or something like that. But coincidences happen both people use coincidences sometimes in both ways, good and bad. But don't use the word coincidence at all, because it's never a coincidence. It is a result of the energetic projection that you are like giving off into your experience, because you are in charge of your experience. Okay. All right. So as we're all awakening, okay, we're all awakening, we're all stepping into our awareness, because remember, we're light beings. For those of us who are aware of that, and those of us who are moving in a direction of being of service, assisting, making sure that just our light is shining no matter what we're doing, we're starting to awaken to our skills and abilities. Okay. What are our skills and abilities? Our skills and abilities involve being more intuitive. It means being more connected to the feelings of others, being more empathetic. It means being more able to sometimes like see the future, or to be able to interpret like dreams or our thoughts, or, being connected to beings that are not physical, that are more spiritual, and feeling comfortable speaking and communicating with them. We're awakening to all kinds of skills and abilities. And guess what? During this time, all you need to do is ask for a teacher. If you need assistance in these areas, now remember, I told you there's going to come a time where it ain't going to be no teachers, because it's going to be solely based off your experiences. But where we are now in the frequency and awareness, we're still in teaching mode, because collectively we're still in that conditioned mindset that we need teachers to assist and guide us in areas that we're not familiar or comfortable with. So if you ask for a teacher, meaning ask God, the universe, the beings that you find that resonate with you, ask for a teacher and one will be sent to you. It may be sent to you in the form of a physical person that you meet, may be sent to you at through a something that comes through your feed on one of your social media platforms. It could come to you through a friend or someone that you know who introduces you to somebody. A teacher will come to you, or it could be a book that you happen to find, or a resource that you just happen to stumble across. You ask for a teacher and one will be sent to you. And when it's sent to you, do not say it was a coincidence. Do not say it was luck. Do not say you just happened to find the teacher. Say it for what it is. It is a result, a direct result of your energetic request. You are energy. You put out the request, the energy, and the energy was sent back to you in the form of the teacher you asked for. Okay? So we are now, most of us are being called to wake up. Okay? Everybody who is here on assignment is waking up and being called to wake up, because it's time, or it will be time, for you to go on your mission. Your mission is not just your life experience, coming down here seeing what it's like to be on planet Earth, but your mission is, and to realize who you are. That's the big mission, to realize the truth of who you are. When you get to that part, then you say, okay, what is my mission? Your mission is to help and assist the awareness and upliftment of others who are going through their experience. It's all one big, I hate to keep saying game, but it's all one big experience that revolves around and around and around and around. And we all are interconnected and depend on each other for continued evolvement on this planet. Okay. All right. So for your check-in, star beings, light workers, light beings of light, divine beings of light, realize and understand you are not behind, you are not lagging, you are not off track. You may be tired in some ways. You may be feeling as if things aren't happening as quickly as you would like, but I want to pull you back to your place of grounding and alignment and realize time doesn't exist. You cannot rush the evolution of the planet. You are here to move in a way that is comparable and in alignment with who you are and where you are, not where everybody else is, okay? And you are moving and experiencing all of this so that you can have your soul's advancement as it leaves this planet, and you have to recall and play back this experience. I am finding more often than not, we're getting so hung up in where everybody else is, both on the positive and the negative. I gave you the positive, where people are looking at other people moving to a place of consciousness and awareness, and they want to get to it so bad because they like it and it resonates with them where these people are, okay? But then there's the flip side, to where people are saying, I'm getting so frustrated because people aren't awakening and everybody's doing this and that. And oh, it just gets on my nerves and I get tired, of trying to awaken other beings. As long as you're trying to make people awaken, make people see things where you are, make people believe what you believe, you're still attached to third dimensional way of thinking, because that's what 3D was made up of. A conditioned belief system that was passed down generation to generation to generation and believed to be true based off of the masses. As long as you keep thinking what you're thinking, you're still in that system. Okay. When you get to the point of saying, I am aware that everybody evolves at a different different pace and at a different speed. I understand I am only, and I can only control my actions and my evolution. I can only be a source of reference or resource to share experiences with those who ask or want my assistance. When you get to that place, I must be evolving as a soul, because I am no longer tied to the outcomes of others. My well-being and my evolution has nothing to do with the evolution of others. I am only responsible for what I came here to do and the part and the piece that I came here to share. Once you feel comfortable in that, then you are evolving. There are many people who are of different faiths who say that this new belief system that we are operating under, that relates to self-awareness, self-love, looking at self first, making sure self is at peace and in alignment, because you cannot be of assistance to anybody else if you are not in your place of love and awareness. A lot of people of different faiths view that as being selfish. I've seen it across social media. They will say that this new age way of thinking, or this new religion, they call it a religion, that people are doing, is taking people away from being of service and helping others, and making people focus on themselves, because that's the perception and the awareness level that they are at and coming from. Do you see? Everybody interprets actions, words, and things of that nature from their level of perception and awareness. And if someone tells you you're being selfish, you don't have to argue, you don't have to explain. All you have to do is know they are interpreting your words and actions from the level of awareness and being that they are at. Okay, you cannot make somebody be at your level of awareness. I'm going to use the analogy somebody used for me. You can't be on WSRS radio station and somebody else is on WTOV, and you two hear the same music at the same time and they're playing two different stations. You can't do it. So it's the same thing with someone telling you their interpretation of something or how to be. They can't hear you and you can't hear them if you're on two different frequencies. So don't even try. Don't even try. You will know when you are in your point of evolution, when you do not feel the need to respond to information or beliefs that are not in alignment with who you are. It's wasted energy. And you are becoming a being that is very cognizant and aware of the importance of balanced energy. Okay. All right. So I hope that this check-in, has been uplifting, encouraging, and assistive for all of my light beings out there who are doing the work of just trying to shine your light. Just shine your darn light. Just do that. Stop getting so wrapped up into, oh, am I supposed to be a Reiki healer, or am I supposed to be an intuitive guide, or am I supposed to just stop with that and just shine your light and get yourself into a place of self-love and being. And then everything else is going to fall into place. Everything else is going to come towards you and for you. Focus on you and your growth, evolution, and love for yourself. And you will always, always see, feel, and know the divine guidance that is coming to you at all times, okay? All right. So this has been our Mystical Monday reality check-in. We checked in a little bit today because we need that every now and then, right? To know that we are not alone, that we are doing just fine, that we are moving on and towards the path of enlightenment and ascension, and that it's okay how we get there as long as we stay in our place of awareness and alignment. We're always good, okay? All right. So for those of you who are interested in one-on-one coaching sessions, please visit my website at www.discoveringyourinnerlight.com. Choose or look at the services that I offer and see which one is best in alignment with your needs at this time. I love working with people one-on-one because it's always very enjoyable and it's very enlightening and refreshing because each person brings a different experience, okay? All right, you guys can catch me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Discovering Your Inner Light. I am also, well, I'll mention that later. I'm doing some other things, but I'll get specific with that when I get specific with what I'm doing. But I am just trying to live out my purpose and to deliver love and light and assist those beings, those light beings here who require any additional assistance during their ascension process, okay? All right, I will see you guys next Monday here on YouTube at Discovering Your Inner Light for Mystical Monday. Until then, everybody take care and always remember, love yourself first, and then you can love the world. All right, everybody take care. Bye-bye.